Any questions on anything so far? I thought when it started raining, when we broke for lunch, I said, Scottish weather's back. We don't want to be disingenuous with our offering of weather. And then, of course, then the sun came back out again. This is, I won't say this is the most sun we've had in a week since I've been here in 31 years, but it's got to be pretty close, because I just don't recall. When I came to view the estate in the first time, end of May, beginning of June 1984, it was like the sunny time we've had. And all the negotiations and all the bullshit going back and forth about buying it. And then when I moved in, I came back one more time, look at it to make sure it was sunny again. And when I moved in, the 31st, I moved in about midnight, the 31st of August of that same year. The next morning, the day it snowed, the 1st of September. And it was an incredibly cold fall in winter. And I lived here pretty much by myself when the renovation started, because we wanted to get it ready for my 39th or 40th birthday, in the next year. And so it was under construction for 6, 7, 8 months. And it was cold, rainy. And then we got it was complete about 3 or 4 weeks before my 40th birthday in August of '85. So when we have this weather, I'm not sure. I'm going to have to go back and check for the records for the 23 years. If it's meaningful for the seminars, the groups, when the sun's been out. I don't know. It may be that somebody is looking down over this group. For sure it's going to fucking need the help. There's no question about that. So I'm hoping that it means something, and there's some correlation, that the stars are juxtaposed just right. But you'll need some clarification. I was looking at the emails, the YouTubes, the you guys. It never ceases to amaze me what some of the people say. But they wonder about you. What happens to you, Like if you're central casting, like this is really, you're not really here for the seminar. I hired you to sit here, and you go out and you disappear. And I wish they did disappear, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. But I'm going to be reading hundreds of weekly reports now. And I read about between 90 and 120 weekly reports a week. Weekly reports. And based on the format you saw. And I normally read them, they start coming in on, depending on where you live in the world, Saturday morning, and they stop, and they're due, and you'll get all this in writing, they're due midnight my time, Scottish time here. And so some people report early and some report late. But I'll tell you this, if you keep daily reports for yourself, it's better. And if you start at the very beginning by keeping track on a daily basis, it'll be better, because then you don't have to think of it all when the weekly report is due. And but I get reports, they're due at before midnight, between 11:55 and 11:59. I'm inundated. And if they're postmarked Monday, 1 minute a.m., they're late. So if your computer server, I don't give a fuck what the excuse is. They get caught in the cyberspace. The devil made you do it. I don't read them. So I say this every time I would start, I would send it at 11 or 11:30, not at 11:55. So we'll see how many of you pay attention to that. Okay, now, we've gone through a lot of myths. We're going to talk about some financial misconceptions, most of which you've learned throughout your career, and career in up to this point. Again, if I step down in the hole with you, I can't pull us out. So I'm going to continue to browbeat you, if you will, pound, and be unforgiving for the next 12 months, starting tomorrow. And some of you will say that it's not fair, Patrick. Some of you will say that he's being, I didn't really understand what he meant, David. Some of you will say that I can't believe that he's as tough as he said he was going to be, and then he really is as tough. Some people will say that I'm really tougher for the next 12 months. I don't believe I am. I believe that I haven't dissuaded you. I haven't been disingenuous with you one iota. Some of you will say, I've heard that bullshit before. We'll just see how tough he really is. I believe we're missing somebody that might have thought of that yesterday, and he's not here now today. But all I know and all I can tell you is it works. So I don't want to get into my close until tonight. But again, how many presentations do you give? You give them until I stop. Now, David, you give them until somebody says yes. That could be one, exaggeration, or 1,000. But somebody will say yes on the planet. By the way, James, thank you for the gifts. Somebody will say yes. What is the poorest shithole in Kentucky? Other than the one you live in. What is the poorest shithole?
Probably Boonville.
Where's Hazard County compared to that?
It's Appalachian Mountains. They got nothing up in that area.
Well, that's where I was. I know Hazard County, Kentucky. God love you, Hazard County. You was good for me. I made hundreds of millions of dollars with you boys. So Boonville, where's Boonville?
Somewhere right around that same area.
Oh, you mean where my peoples are? God love you. You make as many as you have to. And again, I said it before with the break, I'm going to say it again. You don't understand that looking for money in deals is a full-time job. You hear me flapping my old lips about it, but looking for money in deals is a full-time job. Looking for money in deals is a full-time job. And you can't outsource it. You heard Matt say, I outsourced it, I hired somebody to make the calls. Doesn't work. Why? Matt said because they don't have the passion. And they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. You give some guy in Cebu, Philippines, a script. He'll say the script, but that's it. He can't sell it. So it's got to be you. What are the interest rates negotiable? They're always negotiable. Why if you're not being turned down? Okay, I told you the story. We've had 2 or 3 people here successful that said, I've never been turned down by X bank, Y bank, etc. And I jump up and down, and you're not asking for enough money. If you've never been turned down, you're not asking for enough money. And I've told you about overfinancing the deals, and you're going to say, well, how can I overfinance it? Am I being disingenuous? Am I being immoral? Am I being this, that, and because, guys, you don't have a fucking clue how much money a deal takes. I'm going to give you just one example. You got a $10 million business you're going to buy. And let's just say it's a 40% gross margin, $4 million. And let's just say it makes $2 million after taxes. It's a jewel, right? And you guesstimate all these things, and you get in there and you find out that it's not what you thought. It's like you go out with a girl and you go to bed, Patrick, and she's not what she purported to be. You know, you turn off the lights. I never turn off the lights. I want the fucking lights on. The dark hides a lot of shit. I see a lot of guys smiling around here, so in the dark, you know, you get under the sheets, honey, but I want the light on. And okay, now I'll get in bed. Well, when you get into these deals, it's going to be the same way. It's not going to be what you thought. No matter how sophisticated your board is, no matter how many transactions, I still am involved in deals. I'm not surprised, but I'm not. what's the word I'm looking for? It's not what it looks like. The bank may do the due diligence. The accounting company may do the due diligence. The lawyers, you. But when you get in there, it's different. So you're going to need more money. And that's why I tell you to overfinance the deals. Plus, when you overfinance the deals, or if you don't overfinance the deals, Patrick, you can't take any money out. You can't put any cash in your pocket. And there's nothing immoral with overfinancing and paying bonuses to the guys that made the deal happen. It's a way of life. It's a way of life that you haven't experienced. But remember, absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. Just because you never thought of buying something and getting more money from the financial institutions to pay for it than the required selling price doesn't mean it's not being done day and night around the planet. I told you, and I've told you during the week, don't fight over fees. Don't fight over the interest rates within reason. And David's going to ask me, well, what's within reason? Right, David?
I didn't.
Yeah, but you were thinking it, I could tell. Okay? You'll know it's like the definition of pornography from Earl Warren, the former Chief Justice of the United States. He says, I knows it when I sees it. You'll know a bad deal. You'll know you're bored because it's experienced and it's done dozens or perhaps even hundreds of transactions. You'll know when something doesn't look right. Now, I can smell death. I know almost instantly. And over months and years, you will develop that sixth sense. That sixth sense. And when you develop that sixth sense, that's when it becomes fun. Let's end on that fun note with YouTube. Thank you, YouTube. To learn more about this video and all my videos, you lazy cunts, click on this link below. Or you can go to my website, danpeña.com, and see all the fucking free material from the $50 billion man.